Meknes, one of Morocco's 4 royal cities, became famous due to its megalomaniac monarch, Sultan Moulay Ismail, who is also known as Morocco's Sun King. Today, 500,000 people live in this city that's located 550 meters above sea level. The architectural harmony of the Bab el-Khamis is impressive. The holes in its side towers demonstrate the special tamplome technique of its construction. The gate, with its pointed decorative arch, was created by skillful craftsmen. Its middle section is covered with stylish tiles. On entering the gateway, one is struck by the mighty walls. They are of extreme sturdy construction and often have been used to defend the city. The huge, partly overgrown ochre wall extends along the street. The existing 25-kilometre-long bulwark surrounds the former residential quarters. In the background shines the green minaret of the Great Mosque. Pedestrians, cars and horse carriages move along at oriental pace. In former times, the large 4-hectare water basin of Agdal was used to supply water to the park. Today, it's a popular place for a family day out. The cruel and despotic Sultan made Meknes the mightiest fortified city in North Africa, and one that took 55 years to construct. The Heri and Dar-el-Makhzen Complex seems to be without end. A gate leads into a huge corn silo. It demonstrates the Sultan's megalomania. The rooms are up to 6 meters wide, 10 meters high and 50 meters long. The barrel vaults are covered with tiles. This area once contained the subterranean dungeons of a Christian prison. It was here that prisoners from Europe languished until, after much negotiation, they were eventually set free. To illustrate the enormity of all this, Moulay Ismail had an army of 150,000 men who were stationed at each of the country's main strategic points. household was a harem of 600 wives of various races, as well as countless children and a large retinue of African slaves. The former residence contained 50 palaces that were divided by way of gardens, barracks and stables, in which 12,000 horses were stabled. Labyrinth-like arcades are reminiscent of a bygone time of which little remains. Following the Sultan's death, the city fell into sudden decline. In 1996, the Medina of Meknes was designated as a World Heritage Site. It contains both medieval and modern architecture. The old town consists of the Ville Imperiales, the ruins of the palace complex, and also the Medina with its residential and commercial districts. It also includes the former Jewish Ancien district and the Nouveau Mellah that is now known as Riad. Both the old and the new town are separated by the Bouf Ekrane River. Unlike those in Marrakesh and Fez, the city streets that contain the souks are not labyrinth-like. They are almost rectangular and so are easier to negotiate. In the textile quarter, there is everything from buttons to traditional kaftan. And there's a huge assortment of shirts, colourful trousers and children's lace dresses. A wonderful array of food tempts all who visit the market. Large blocks of candy that contain almonds and a variety of other nuts are very striking and create a mouth-watering display. European apartments are usually furnished with Oriental household goods, with anything from a stag's head to a Berber carpet. There's something for everyone. They are not always easy to find, but Morocco's restaurants and cafes offer a huge variety of delicious dishes. Ornamental silver is a speciality, but its exponents are few and far between. It makes a perfect gift. A silversmith creates various patterns with great skill. Dexterity and patience are the most important attributes for this exacting work. The Kisaria Cloth Market boasts the finest lace makers. Here, magnificent tablecloths are offered for sale. Brass ornaments are also available. The art of metalworking has a long tradition in Morocco, and there's an amazing variety on offer, from ornamental swords to practical household goods. The Medina Bou Inania is one of the most important buildings in the Medina. Its courtyard contains a shell-shaped well that's used for ritual bathing. Ground marble and alabaster stucco work is decorated with objects made with fine spatulas. Carved cedar wood is also included. The courtyard contains many remarkable architectural elements. The Medina was built in the 14th century by the Merinid sultans. Both its interior and exterior resemble a building in Fez, as both buildings were constructed during the same period. In the 16th century, the Medina was expanded with the addition of a theological institute. Stucco and plaster were used from the 9th century AD. Highly skillful decorative elements are repeated on both pointed and circular arches. Ceramics was developed in the 11th century. This process soon became popular throughout the Islamic world. Inscriptions with quotations from the Quran, surrounded by thin lines, each letter has been painstakingly etched into the tiles. The majority of floors, walls, pillars, and even domes are covered in tile mosaics. The colourful tiles are quite stunning. Huge balls of wool are spun, coloured, and transformed into carpets here. They are richly adorned with geometric patterns and abstract forms. The Medina area close to the Great Mosque, including the Medina Bou Inania, is full of architectural splendour. At first sight, the designs appear to be similar, but the woodwork and stucco contains a myriad of fine detail. The Great Mosque was founded by the Almohads, but was altered during the time of the Merides. It provides a close insight into the world of Islam. Finely crafted chandeliers cast a gentle light across the prayer hall. Everything looks mystical and mysterious. The Mausoleum of Moulay Ismail is also located in the former royal city. It's one of the most famous buildings in Meknes. Beyond its facade, there is a tomb. The Alawite monarch, who became famous due to his overindulgence in architecture and his cruelty, plus his religious faith, is still respected by many of those who visit the necropolis. A view from highly decorated courtyards leads to the green roof of the mausoleum. The contrast of colour is quite fantastic. The metalwork of these strong wooden doors is popular with collectors. They are sold at the world's most famous auction houses and fetch a high price. The roof is held up by massive wooden girders. They have borne the immense weight of this splendid ceiling for many centuries. The bowl of the fountain is supported by a unique console. Objects such as this were unknown in earlier Islamic buildings. It's likely that they originated from Europe. Despite his disdain of the dynasties that preceded him, Moulay Ismail had his mausoleum designed in the style of the Saadiye, but without their artistic skill. In Islamic mosques and mausoleums, only a few of the ornaments and furnishings play a significant role. This tiled faience floor looks like a carpet. These faience mosaics contain a marvelous spectrum of color. The tiny sections come from broken tiles. In 1950, Mohammed V had the shrine renovated, carefully restoring each aspect of the building so that it would be preserved for posterity. Below the uppermost section of the ceilings are the windows. It's only when the sun is directly above that it shines within. The dignity of the necropolis must not be disturbed by external influences. Several metal chandeliers create warm, comforting illumination. Contours become hazy. Carpets and mosaics look almost unreal. The view above features a mass of geometric patterns and forms. The abundant decoration on the walls continues to the ceiling. Meknes is an important commercial centre, and textiles and agriculture are vital sources of revenue. Olives and vines are cultivated on the Sais Plateau. The Place El Hadim. Its name originates from the time of Moulay Ismail. On the 200 by 100 meters square, there's much activity. Many of Meknes' inhabitants still prefer traditional clothing, as it's perfect for the climate and extremely comfortable. An array of shoe cleaners, storytellers and water sellers is gathered here. And tradesmen also offer their goods for sale. Souvenirs and food are on offer in the small shops beneath the arcades. This is where the normal daily life of Morocco can be experienced to the full. The magnificent gate of Bab el-Mansour. Construction of the gate began during the rule of Moulay Ismail, but was completed in 1732 by his successor. It derived its name from a Christian who converted to Islam. It was here, following numerous trials, that those found guilty were executed and their heads put on public display. This pointed gate is the most beautiful of its kind and a successful adaptation of the classical building style of the Almohads. But the height and strength of the walls is awesome. The slaves of many countries lost their lives while working on this monumental structure. The Triumphant Arch is decorated with marble pillars and composite capitals that were pillaged from the volubilis. The king wasn't too much concerned how he came by his building materials. The columns of the side wings of Bab el-Mansour have rosettes on their capitals. Originally, the columns had straight entablatures, but since Roman times, bowed sections became the norm. The Berber tribe of Meknasa first gave this city its name. But following thousands of years of dramatic history, the former royal city of Meknes remains an enigma to the present day.